Greetings all. This is Hairy Nick.
And this is a less hairy Justin.
Yes, I went a bit more animated in this intro. Justin, how are you going? That mustache is looking fantastic.
I am loving this mustache. Like, the fact that I can actually, old man curl it up looks very distinguished.
Indeed.
For a better age.
It's most Machiavellian. I love it, yes. Indeed. Okay, another new article. So
yeah, we had 1 week off, but now we're up to wave 8 now.
We needed last week off. All the points, all the rules.
Begins.
This is where the fun begins. Correct. And it's good. They didn't stop. This is now the next chunk of stuff. So we're going to have this, the V-Wing, the Fire Spray, and the Tri-Fighter. Not necessarily in that order, probably over the next 4 weeks, I imagine. And I'm hoping in 5 weeks' time we get a new wave announced. That's what I'm thinking. We keep this train going. We keep this train going. Choo-choo.
It doesn't have to be a new wave. It just needs to be, something.
Not necessarily spoilers, but just content, information about the game. That'd be a really, really good thing.
Yeah, even if it's once every 2 weeks. I'm happy with that.
Me too. We are back on our Patreon Discord, where I have a nice section to dump all of the new images. It's a new way we're trying to record this stuff. It's all, done in OBS, and I have to edit a lot less, and I quite like that. So we're going to go through all the new spoiled images. I've made some notes here of what we've previously seen, and we can sort of just briefly gloss over that before we go into anything else. And I think what we want to start with, Justin, is the stuff relating to Epic, because we're not really Epic players ourselves, but we will mention it because, of course, it comes in the pack.
Well, one day I will play an Epic game.
You will.
I don't have the time.
I believe in you. We don't have time to play the standard game right now, let alone Epic. So we have all of this information to do with the hyperdrive. First of all, we have the upgrade that's associated with it. It goes with your cellular class hyperspace ring. I believe that's the correct way to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And it has a similar clause to Han Solo on the Resistance, the pilot for the Falcon. You can be placed anywhere on the play area beyond range 1 of an obstacle and 3 of an enemy ship, which is cool. So basically, if we go up to that pilot card for the hyperspace ring, because there's a star next to it, my understanding is because it takes the initiative of the pilot that's docked with it, you start with it docked, and it deploys at the pilot's initiative.
Yes.
Am I making sense, Justin?
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. And then it takes on the dial and initiative of the pilot that's docked with it, and you just do 1 speed maneuvers. And that's it. You just sort of float around. You don't want to have this on in the middle of battle. This is a bad time. Yeah. Because you are defending with 1 agility in your Jedi Starfighter. This takes damage. It doesn't just hit the ship. It's a little bit confusing to sort of get the flavor of how this is going on. But then this gets destroyed and your Jedi Starfighter just flies away. But this is something that allows you to do hyperspace stuff. So
can you remove yourself from the ring?
Yeah. You can
how do you
deploy from it. Well, it's standard deploy rules, like anything else. It's weird because you deploy at the start of the game with this on and you take it off, and obviously you're not going to bother using it. I think there's going to be some scenarios where you want to jump back into the hyperspace ring to escape the battlefield. There'll be a scenario built around that to sort of justify it hanging around and you not wanting to get it destroyed. It can't move unless there's a Jedi Starfighter, V-Wing, or whatever attached to it. So it could be some interesting mechanics around that, but obviously for the standard game, this isn't legal anyway. One more thing. We have a leader base card, Jedi Commander. This is similar to Veteran Wing Leader, the generic version of this. Actually, this is also generic. It can go on your Rebel, your Imperial, whatever lists, and you'll get benefit from your Force users if you use this. While your wingmates execute a purple maneuver, they treat those maneuvers as red instead. There's no may. They must treat it as red instead. While you defend, up to 2 of your wingmates in the attack arc may each suffer 1 hit or crit to cancel 1 matching result, which is the same clause on Veteran Wing Leader. Cool. So unlike Veteran Wing Leader, the ships don't have to be the same. But you get a benefit with your purple maneuvers. Now, changing them to red may actually be a bad thing in some situations. And I gotta say, the art on this card's a flavor fail because it's your wingmates that are Jedi, not the commander. You are a commander of Jedi, not a Jedi commander with the way the mechanics work. Yeah, I know you're thinking about it.
So,
yeah.
But when you're flying with that, isn't it when you're flying as a wing? Don't you just use one dial?
But
so
they all get stressed, or they all get purple. So the idea is if you do a purple maneuver, they get stressed, but keep all their purple, or keep all their force, which I think in general is a good thing.
But if you do a purple maneuver and you've got the V wings, do they then get to do that maneuver?
No.
No?
Oh, yes, they would. No, okay, you've cracked the code. You and FFG, big brain thinkies. So the idea is, yes, this is a Jedi that can command V-wings, and you can do purple maneuvers even though they can't. They make them red. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I like it. I like it a lot. Also, there's no requirements on what your wingmates are. They don't all have to be the same ship.
Yeah, this is going to be cool.
That's cool.
Does that mean that you could do, like, a Jedi and then, like, 2 arcs, or, like, and do, like, crazy maneuvers with them?
Or 5 other ships of your ship type.
Yeah.
It doesn't specify what it can be. On the Empire, we have a TIE fighter version of this, which says you fly alongside a bunch of TIE fighters, no matter what kind of ship you are. So it seems to imply that it can be a mismatch of ships, which is weird.
Yeah.
Might be really good on the Rebellion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not getting the purple maneuvers.
That's the whole thing. If you, for example, took an ETA-2 and dialed in a purple maneuver, and your other ships didn't have purple maneuvers, they'd all just disengage, and then you'd lose them because they can't legally do a purple maneuver. They have no force to spend. So yeah.
Also, I've just realised it is a bit of a flavour fail because they've got a Delta 7,
which don't have purple maneuvers.
They don't have.
That's it. Yeah.
We're bringing it back round. Anyway.
Whatever. Like, we got there in the end. Anyway, epic stuff. This is just stuff that's required for that. It's not for the standard game. Let's talk about stuff that is for the standard game, including, first of all, this new pilot card for our generic, the Jedi General. And we were chatting about this and how it relates to the Jedi Knight on the Delta 7 8th Sprite. This has 2 Force, and this is also Initiative 4. As opposed to 1 Force Initiative 3.
And it also does have the 3 bullseye as well as an additional attack.
It's kind of like the, it escapes my name, it'll be on the screen, the configuration that allows you to get a bonus in the bullseye arc on the Delta 7 8th Sprite. So having that built in is really, really good. We're sort of trying to ballpark where we think this is going to land points-wise.
Yeah, I'm thinking around 42.
Around 42. Our Jedi Knight is 37. So I think this being at around 42, 43, possibly even as high as 45, I think that feels about right. Just the ship in general, though, let's ignore like initiative and everything. I think it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the 8th Sprite because it has a natural 3 red dice attack. I think that outweighs the negatives or potential negatives. Plus the evade is white. I think target lock being purple as opposed to evade is better. The reason for that is I feel like target lock is something that you're going to take with this ship in the situation where losing a force is less painful. Basically, when you don't going to take a shot or you're not going to get shot back, and the extra force token doesn't really matter all that much. Whereas when you take a purple evade, like on the Aether Sprite, you are losing a defensive resource in losing a force token. You're trading one for another. And a target lock, retains round through round. I just think having white evade is pretty significant here.
Well, not only that, the fact that they only had, if we go back to the Jedi Knight, only having the one purple force, meaning you're either spending the force for an evade, or you're keeping the. It's
a more
force.
Valuable resource.
Yeah,
for sure. You modify your dice one way or the other, and both an evade and a force token can only modify one dice. So having the option to be able to do both, in this one you have 2 force tokens and an evade. It's so much more. That's so much more upside. So much better defense. I think the generics were looking at at least a good 5 points more. I think the frame overall, if we're comparing like to like, we're looking at a few points more. Yes, the ETA-2 doesn't have a shield. I think that 3 red dice attack, though, that more than makes up for it. I think the action bar is slightly better. And I think the baked-in ability is a wash. Again, this is something we were discussing before. There is massive upside to taking that purple boost or a barrel roll during the system phase and also after you activate, as in after you take a maneuver. The upside to doing it after you take a maneuver, like on the Aether Sprite, is you're doing it at your initiative. So at high initiatives like Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, all those pilots, a lot more information. It's going to be far more valuable and more informed. Where this one, during the system phase, is bizarre. And I think people are going to undervalue this because typically high initiative aces can't block, or not very effectively anyway. This can do a maneuver before the low initiative ships get to fly. It can block low initiative ships with a boost or a barrel roll and then activate and do a maneuver and take an action. It's really good.
It's a bit terrifying.
It is. And as we're going to see a bit later when we get to the upgrade cards, you can change the boost as well. There's a lot of agency. There's a lot of power with this. As I said, it's not the same as arc dodging at high initiatives. It's not helping that. But you could move into block even a low initiative ship and then Talon roll behind it. Now, before we move on, we have already spoken about Anakin and Obi-Wan, if you'd like to see that. Also, a couple of the upgrade cards. I will pop a card there so you can click through and look at our reveal from Gen Con. But in the meantime, let's have a look at the rest of these Jedi pilots. Starting off with Initiative 5, Ayla Secura. While an enemy ship in your forward arc at range 0 to 1 performs an attack, the defender may change one blank result to a focus result.
Yeah, now this isn't using up any force. You can have it on your other ships as well. This is pretty good.
Well, it's using up a force in that a lot of the time when you're getting focus results, you're going to use one of your force to change it to an evade. Yeah,
but it can also be on other ships as well.
That's right. Oh, absolutely. So, it's good. Yeah. And it's in Ayla Secura's forward arc. Yeah. So she's incentivized to fly aggressive. I dig it. And a defensive mod when she does so. I quite like that. It's not like Boba Fett, who gets a reroll when there's a ship at range 1 and green dice, man, blank into blank. Whew, that's a good feeling. No, guaranteed result with Ayla Secura. It's got to be in the forward arc. It's not just anywhere in range 1. I think that's a power level choice on FFG's part there. It's just weird because it feels like a resistance or a scum thing to do that kind of thing. To fly really great. It's almost like fearless. It's like Concordia face-off on the Fang Fighters.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it?
It is a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It's in your forward arc, not their forward arc, so,
Yeah.
Apples and oranges, whatever. Very similar effect, though. Yeah, I like it a lot. But just not much to say about it. I think it's very, very powerful. I think it'll go well in lists if the game strategy pays off. I think it will be ignored by the spikes if flying hyper aggressive with Initiative 5 ETA just doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
But really, really cool. Really, really cool indeed. However, having said that, I think the other two pilots we're going to have a look at now do have some very obvious applications. And I think both are very interesting in terms of meta play. In fact, I will say basically all 5 named pilots all have potential. Shark T, Initiative 4. At the start of the end phase, you may spend any number of force to choose that many friendly ships at range 0 to 2. Each chosen ship does not remove 1 focus or evade token during the end phase.
It's
really cool.
That's
you know
good.
what, Justin? I'm going to do something a bit different here. I'm going to bring up Yoda at the same time because I want to actually compare them as we're discussing them. Yoda reads Initiative 3, 3 force instead of 2, like on Shark T. After another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 spends 1 or more force, you may spend a force. If you do, that ship recovers 1 force. So the reason I want to bring these up together is because the application is so similar. They're both very, very, very powerful support ships and are situationally better. Yoda has similarities to Emperor Palpatine on the Empire in the crew card. It's a little bit less applicable than Palp because Palp it's got infinite range. Also, Palp can affect any ship, not just ones with force tokens. Even if a ship has a force token, or rather it has force tokens with Yoda, if it has none to spend, it doesn't get the benefit from this.
At the same time, Emperor Palpatine is a crew card, which means that he can only be put on certain ships.
I get it. Yoda being on this platform, despite being a less powerful effect, may be more applicable. Absolutely. It's obviously only really valuable alongside other Jedi. I don't really think you're going to want to take like Yoda and 1 Jedi and 1 non-Jedi. I think realistically you're looking at 3 Jedi if you're going to fly Yoda. That's going to be the best place to apply him.
Or even as opposed, if you get multiple Jedi Knights, maybe? Yeah.
Potentially 3 more. It's doable, I suppose. I think the upside of taking like powerful named pilots like Obi-Wan and Anakin is probably going to be the more prevailing archetype with Yoda. Shark T, on the other hand, is great alongside Jedi, but because she can help retain focus evade tokens, she's also good against alongside other things. The big one that springs to mind with Shark T is Ricochet because of being able to retain that evade token. That's really good.
It is only really within range 0 to 2, so you've got to keep fairly close to him.
At least it's not like 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like Yoda obviously has the higher ceiling. And honestly, I think Yoda feels more consistent overall. There are more situations where you're going to want to spend force tokens. It comes up quite a lot. Whereas retaining a green token, a focus or evade, unfortunately can't be reinforced, but the focus or evade is still pretty relevant. It means you've specifically got to take the action and then not lose the token by the end of the turn. It's a little bit more niche for my liking, is what I'm saying.
I see where you're coming from.
But still, that application with Ricochet, like that alone, though that pilot combination might be just too good in terms of meta play. I'm not saying it's broken, but I'm saying just because Shark T works specifically with this pilot, which we know is good, we know Ricochet's a great pilot. We don't have to prove that.
It might even mean that some other Naboo starfighters are going to start seeing play. Maybe Anakin might see a bit more play now as well. Yeah, true. And Anakin, again, is meta-relevant, not quite as much as Ricochet. Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah. Yoda, I think, is going to be a bit more tricky in terms of the archetype he fits into. It comes down to what he costs. Being Initiative 3, but 3 Force tokens, and that ability. I think he's going to be expensive. He is a lower initiative than the Jedi General. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's Yoda. He can't reach the controls.
Yeah, I can't wait to see someone actually modify their ships to make it look like the Yoda
I think
spaceship.
I think
That's
it's just going to be
look
3D
awesome.
printed. I think people are just going to 3D print their own Yoda ship. Actually, speaking of which, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm seeing a lot of comments from people saying, "Hey, why isn't Yoda his own expansion or at least his own different mini?" And I think what we got to appreciate is you got to realize that FFG they've got to fill and please a lot of different requirements when it comes to making these game pieces. I think I can see how just making Yoda a separate card was the lesser of two evils or multiple evils or whatever. Having his own separate ship would be weird because it's literally only Yoda that can fly this ship.
Yeah.
That doesn't really warrant another expansion.
Yeah, because his was a modified version of the ETA-2.
It's still an ETA-2. Exactly
it's,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I just think this is the cleanest way of doing it. I know it'd be great if it had a separate mini or something like that, but I think realistically, this is the best way of implementing him into the game. And hey, I think 3D modelers are going to love this one. It's going to be one of those ones where you just buy an entire new model for your ETA-2. If you really love flying Yoda, you'll have to ask your opponents politely at tournaments and make sure you bring the legal one with you just to make sure nobody gets angry at you. But yeah, I think that's going to be, if you really, really care about that kind of stuff, that's going to be the solution.
Yeah, and it's going to be awesome. Like, just so much flavor to have like a little Yoda.
Little baby. Oh, it's so cute. It's just the cutest thing. Yoda's ETA-2. Love it. I love it so much. Okay, let's move on to these upgrade cards. Oh, Extreme Maneuvers, Justin. How good does this look?
It's extreme!
It's extreme! Yeah. It's Jedi Daredevil, basically. Daredevil makes your boosts red, and then you do a hard turn. This makes them purple, and then you do a hard turn. Cool. Not much to say. It's great.
Yeah, it's small ship with a boost, so I think the only Force ship that is smaller and doesn't have a boost is Ezra on the TIE Fighter. I can't think of anything else.
No, I think you're right. The N1... Oh, but Anakin on the N1 doesn't have Force upgrades.
No.
It's weird. Needless to say, yes, this is obviously powerful on the ETA-2. Just to illustrate that point, FFG dropped this image in their article where you can turn back on yourself in a weird kind of way, which is really cool because it's the only ship that can do a Talon roll and not be stressed and still do a boost. That's really, really cool. But this has obvious applications on other ships. Luke Skywalker on the X-Wing can take this because he's got boost off of the S-foils.
Kylo.
Kylo has the extra action. Kylo, his ship allows him to take boosts as bonus actions, which is really good on Kylo. Now, the challenge with Kylo is whether this is better than Hate, whether it's costed more or less. Hate's 3 points. I reckon this could be 3 points.
Yeah,
Daredevil's 2 points, so yeah.
I think if this is either 2 or 3 points, you're going to be tossing it up. It depends how you fly as well. If you're more of an ace player, you'd much rather the extreme maneuvers.
True. Yeah, like it's all good. I don't think there is it's not a fair comparison, Hate or this. I think ultimately it's going to come down to whether if this is 2 points like Daredevil, I think it's going to knock Hate off its pedestal.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where we land with this one. Lots of great application on a lot of ships. I don't think we have to convince anyone of this. Obviously good in the ETA-2 because you can do it before or after you execute a maneuver. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, I think even on the Delta it'll be good. Use it afterwards.
Indeed. Hey, Justin.
Interesting.
Justin, we're out of things to spoil. There's nothing left. R2 and Patience we spoke about in the last video. Oh, sad face.
We'll have to have a chat next week, hopefully.
We will have to have a chat next week. What are you predicting next week's going to be? It's probably like the next thing in the product order, but I don't know what that is, so let's just guess.
No, neither do I.
I know what I want. I know what I want.
Yeah, you want the Slave 1, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, so jazzed. I haven't had a ship I've been like madly excited to buy in ages. I just want Slave 1, man. It's great.
See, I'm waiting for those Tri-Fighters. I've been wanting those since since the first edition.
That's fair enough. And you know what's going to happen, Justin? It's going to be the V-Wing. It's going to be the V-Wing.
I think the V-Wing makes more sense because you go Republic, maybe?
Oh, why do they get all of the love? Man, my dumb scum ship that's not even on the scum faction.
Well, you get a scum card.
Oh yeah, we do too. Okay. If FFG are going to announce any new product soon, that second card pack, it's the requirement is getting bigger and bigger with every one of these expansions we're revealing. I really hope. I know it's tricky now because of coronavirus, but I really hope they do try to get to a habit of releasing one a year. I think that is the healthy amount to do.
If not more.
I think beyond that, it starts to push our wallets a bit too much. I think one a year is healthy.
So when did the last one come out? Did it come out this year or was it last year?
It was late last year. I think it was around November, December, something like that. So
okay.
It'd be good. It'd line up if they announce it soon.
Yeah.
FFG, over to you.
Couple more pilots, yeah.
Over to you. Let's announce something. Let's keep this train rolling. And if you must announce something, hang on 1 second. Just vamp while I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm vamping. I'm talking. Can't
FFG.
talk about any.
Lego beat you to the punch. So, yeah, FFG, where's this? Where's this thing? This should be an X-Wing.
Yeah, I think another wave.
It's only been like, what, a year since The Mandalorian came out? No, not quite that long. About 9 months.
Yeah.
Mandalorian 2, Electric Boogaloo's coming out soon. I mean...
Exactly.
It's time. It is time.
What? It's either when the first episode comes out, they drop a reveal article about it, or like a spoiler article, or the final episode.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Crossed.
I mean, everything's on a big delay right now, so I understand whether it's hard to line things up. Especially when their budget is nowhere near like what Favreau and their crew's getting. One more thing. Squadrons just came out, and there's all these new pilots.
Yeah.
They need new pilot cards. So many unique characters just dropped in to Star Wars canon all of a sudden.
So we were told that we were already going to get the Phoenix Squadron and a different squadron for the Empire. So we won't be getting them in those packs, but we might get them in a card pack possibly, or
we're getting Inferno Squadron for the Empire. I missed that bit.
It wasn't. Was it Inferno? I thought it was something else.
Oh, I remember Phoenix was something that was leaked or something like that. Yeah. Which I think is fun. Phoenix is great. Hey, Justin, we are rambling. We are doing the ramble. We should end the video right here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're as jazzed for all this new stuff that might be happening as much as we are. If so, let us know in the comments. What do you want to see soon? And what do you think of all this new stuff that we saw in this article? Also, yes, we're recording a few episodes of The Hangar Bay, starting off with the LAT gunship. We haven't recorded that episode just yet. So if you drop your list in the next few days, it could be featured in that video. Also, right after that, videos on the other two ships that were just released as well. So submissions and all that kind of stuff. Also, yes, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Social media, Patreon, all that kind of stuff down in the description below if you want to be part of that. Thank you everyone who is supporting the channel in every way so far, not just the patrons, all you lovely subscribers are very nice as well. Me and Justin will both catch you in the next video.
Bye.